This is Jesus Christ, Son of God, King of Kings, and Lord of Lords. Throughout history, many people have tried to disprove that Jesus is the Son of God. But here's the thing. The more they try to disprove it, the more evidence they actually prove that he is. And today, we will look at one of those proofs. In this video, we will show you 12 prophecies in the Old Testament that Jesus Christ fulfilled. And the amazing thing is that these prophecies were written hundreds of years before Christ was born. So if you are ready, let's begin. Number 1, Isaiah 7 verses 14. Therefore, the Lord himself will give you a sign. Behold, a virgin will conceive and bear a son, and shall call his name Emmanuel. In this passage, Isaiah prophesied that a young woman would become pregnant, give birth to a son, and name him Emmanuel, which means God with us. At the time, this prophecy seemed impossible because the young woman mentioned in the passage was not married. But when Jesus Christ was born, Mary, his mother, was still a virgin. Yet she became pregnant and gave birth to Jesus, who is God with us. Thus, this prophecy was fulfilled. No. 2, Isaiah 9 verses 6. For unto us a child is born. Unto us a son is given, and the government will be upon his shoulder. And his name will be called Wonderful Counselor, Mighty God, Everlasting Father, Prince of Peace. This prophecy told us that the child born as the son of a virgin will be our counselor, our mighty God, everlasting Father, and Prince of Peace. When Jesus came, he taught us how to pray, thus fulfilling the role of a counselor. As the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, he became our mighty God. He also became our Father by adoption after we accepted him as our Savior. And finally, he brought us peace through his death on the cross. So all the things that Isaiah prophesied happened to Jesus Christ. Number 3, Micah 5:2. But you, Bethlehem, Ephrathah, though you are little among the thousands of Judah, yet out of you shall come for me the ruler who will shepherd Israel in my name. Micah prophesied that the ruler who will shepherd Israel will come from Bethlehem. And the amazing thing is that Jesus Christ was born in Bethlehem. When Joseph and Mary went to Bethlehem for the census, an angel told Joseph to go there because the Messiah would be born there. Thus, this prophecy was fulfilled. No, for Psalm 2:7. I will tell of the decree of the Lord, who said to me, You are my son. Today I have begotten you. In this passage, the psalmist wrote about God, saying that he has begotten the Messiah today. When Jesus was baptized, a voice from heaven proclaimed, You are my beloved Son, in whom I am well pleased. So Jesus was the long-awaited Son of God who had been promised to Abraham in Genesis 22:18. No. 5, Isaiah 53:3. He is despised and rejected by men, a man of sorrows and acquainted with pain. And like one from whom men hide their face, he was despised. Surely he has borne our griefs and carried our sorrows. This prophecy tells us that the Messiah will be despised and rejected by men, a man of sorrows and acquainted with pain. Jesus perfectly fulfilled this prophecy because he suffered and died for us, despite knowing no sin. In fact, Isaiah further explained what he meant in verses 4-5. Surely he has borne our griefs and carried our sorrows. Yet we esteemed him stricken by God and afflicted by him. But he was wounded for our transgressions. He was bruised for our iniquities. The chastisement for our peace was upon him, and by his stripes we are healed. No. 6, Zechariah 13:7. Awake, O sword, against my shepherd, and against the man who is my friend. Strike, O dogs of the earth, all of you, against my Christ. This prophecy tells us that the shepherd and the man who is his friend will be attacked and killed by the dogs of the earth, meaning the wicked people of the world. Jesus, being our good shepherd, laid down his life for the sheep. And when his disciples asked him who is the betrayer, he replied, The Son of Man indeed goes, as it is written about him. But woe to that man by whom the Son of Man is betrayed. It would have been better for that man if he had not been born. So the prophecy was fulfilled when Judas Iscariot, one of Jesus' 12 disciples, betrayed him for 30 pieces of silver. No, 7. Daniel 9:26. And after the 7 years, he will make a treaty with many for 7 more years, but he will not confirm it. And when he has done his own will, he will also destroy them. The context of this passage is talking about the Messiah whose coming will be cut short. The prophet Daniel received this revelation in the year 536 BC, which means he knew nothing about Jesus' first and second coming. But what the prophet said back then perfectly described what happened to Jesus when he came the first time. After Jesus performed his first miracle at the wedding in Cana, his disciples asked him, "Rabbi, why do you wait? Now we know that you are a prophet." Then Jesus replied, "My time has not yet come, but you always have something to say." Thus, what you just said will happen. If it had not been for the Jews' unbelief, Jesus would have fully revealed his glory during his first coming. However, his coming was cut short due to the Jews' disbelief and rejection of him as the Messiah. Therefore, this prophecy was fulfilled when Jesus left the earth and ascended into heaven. No, 8. Psalm 22:16. 4 dogs have surrounded me, the assembly of the wicked have enclosed me. They pierced my hands and my feet. I can literally feel their point. David wrote this psalm when he was surrounded by his enemies and cried out to God for help. Amazingly, the soldiers who crucified Jesus mocked him and gambled for his clothes. They also nailed him to the cross, piercing his hands and feet. Hence, this prophecy was fulfilled. Number 9. Isaiah 53:9. And when I speak of my people and my nation, Israel, a godly nation, a people who are zealous for my law. What are they that they are zealous for my law? This passage says that the Messiah will be punished and buried with the rich. We see this when Joseph of Arimathea, a rich man who was also a disciple of Jesus, asked Pontius Pilate for Jesus' body. He took Jesus down from the tree, wrapped him in a clean linen cloth, placed him in his own new tomb that had been hewn out of the rock. So this prophecy was fulfilled. Number 10. Isaiah 53:12. Therefore, I will divide with him a portion with the many, and he will divide the spoil with many nations. For he shall not strive, nor cry out, nor cause his voice to be heard in the street. The prophet Isaiah said that the Messiah will divide the spoil with many nations and will not contend, nor cry out. This prophecy was fulfilled when Jesus led his church and spread the gospel throughout the whole world. His followers are now in every nation, and Jesus doesn't contend or cry out. Instead, he remains seated at the right hand of God the Father. Number 11. Jeremiah 31:31. Behold, the days are coming, declares the Lord, when I will make a new covenant with the house of Israel and with the house of Judah. Not like the covenant I made with their forefathers on the day that I took them by the hand to lead them out of the land of Egypt. My covenant, which they broke. Although I was a husband to them, they played the harlot with other gods. And they committed adultery with images of gold and silver, idols of Baal. They had no regard for me, declares the Lord. In this passage, Jeremiah prophesied that God will make a new covenant with the house of Israel and Judah. When Jesus came, he gave his disciples a new commandment, which is to love one another. John wrote about this in his 1 John chapter 4, verse 7. Beloved, let us love one another. For this is the love of God, that we love one another. So this prophecy was fulfilled, when Christians started loving each other despite their differences. Number 12. Ezekiel 34:23. And you, son of man, feed my sheep. Be with them and feed them, and gather the scattered children of Israel. Tend them and guard them. This prophecy commanded Ezekiel to feed and guard the scattered sheep of Israel. Jesus quoted this passage in Matthew 25:32 when he talked about separating the sheep from the goats. He said, "All the nations will be gathered before me, and I will separate them one from another, as a shepherd separates the sheep from the goats. And he will set the sheep on his right hand, but the goats on the left." So Jesus fed and guards his sheep, which are his followers, until he returns for them. So there you have it, 12 prophecies that Jesus Christ fulfilled. There are actually more than 300 prophecies in the Old Testament that Jesus Christ fulfilled. We will make more videos about the remaining prophecies in the future, so stay tuned. Also, if you want to know how you can go to heaven when you die, let me know in the comments or email me. And may the Lord bless you as you continue to seek Him.